Well, happy October, everyone. Many people use this time of year to dip their toes into the supernatural world. Horror movies and ghost hunting shows really get people in the mood this time of year to seek out what lies beyond the boundaries of this world and the next. In fact, many of you watching this may go on a haunted tour or a paranormal investigation this month. So in this video, I'm going to help you understand what ghosts really are and also teach you how to stay safe while exploring any haunted locations. There are both wonderful and terrifying things in these places that most would not believe could exist, but they do exist in these other dimensions. When it comes to visiting haunted locations, we need to remember that these are places where tragic events took place. It's important we understand that when we're going on any kind of paranormal investigation, what we're really coming to experience is someone else's tragedy and become a witness to their pain and suffering and their deaths. It's important to hold reverence and respect for the dead at all times. Things like murder, sickness, and death all leave an imprint upon the environment, and it is the energy of their suffering that creates the phenomenon we know as hauntings. There are many different types of hauntings. One of the most common is called a residual haunting. Think of these hauntings as a broken record, playing over and over again, like an echo lost in time. These spirits can be seen but not interacted with. They may not even know that they're dead. They're usually dressed in period-style clothing and look like they're from another time and place. They can sometimes be seen doing tasks like they did in life, like plowing a field or working in an old repair shop that's long been closed down. They aren't even aware that you're there, and to them, it's just another day in their reality. The next type of haunting is called an intelligent haunting, and these are usually human souls that we term earthbound spirits. They are souls who are not at rest and not at peace. They become earthbound after passing away and, for whatever reason, do not cross over into the light. They remain stuck in the astral plane until they decide to leave, or they are gently nudged to move on by either the angels, their guides, or a psychic medium like me. They can be communicated with and reasoned with, but this depends on who the spirit was when they were alive. Spirits linger for countless reasons. Some can't move on because they don't even realize that they're dead. Then there are others who fear judgment and they run away from the light. Many more cannot accept the fact that they are dead or cope with the separation from their family and loved ones, and so they stay. You see, the dead mourn the living just as much as we mourn them. Death itself is actually a long process of letting go, which usually happens over a period of several years after the person's passing. Then they can finally release their earthly lives and cross over. Most need some kind of closure before they can move on. There are countless earthbound spirits out there, longing for the life that they lost. Many have a hard time accepting their deaths, and most will do just about anything to feel alive again. This is where you come into the picture. And the more empathic you are, the easier it will be for these earthbound souls to latch onto your energy and attempt to live through you parasitically. Many more are just looking for help, and they will use you as a ride out of that area. Whether you remind the spirit of a person that they knew in life, or they just feel a connection with you or you to them, these lost souls can and will follow you home. So it's really important that we prepare before going to visit any haunted locations to prevent this from happening. And now we're going to talk about a few ways to safely navigate any haunted sites you're thinking about visiting this month. And the most important piece of advice that I can give you guys to prevent spirits attaching to you is grounding. The act of grounding. In fact, being grounded, centered, and fully present in your body is your best defense at preventing any attachments from latching onto you and following you home. See the video I made last month for September on attachments to learn more, and I also talk about grounding there too. And being present and being grounded means not being on your phone, taking a bunch of pictures, or allowing yourself to be distracted. You'll need to pay close attention to your environment and also to how your body is feeling, because ghosts communicate with us in many different ways. You might feel a hand on your shoulder, a cold spot in the room, or see an orb of light fly past you. These experiences can provide us with some personal proof that there really is life beyond death. But just as fun as this can be, we also need to be aware that these souls are usually stuck or trapped in some way, or they wouldn't still be there, and that they can cause issues for us if we're not careful. Spiritual opportunists will look for open holes in your aura to gain access into your energy. So being grounded and present without distractions is going to be number one, okay? Now, next in line is wearing your protective crystals. I like black tourmaline and black onyx. These absorb negative energy, and they also provide a barrier between you and any spirits you may be trying to communicate with. It puts a buffer zone there. Now, there are many different types of spirits and entities that can inhabit these haunted locations, and sometimes they aren't all human. There are elementals, spirits of the land, fairy beings, aliens, and many others. They tend to congregate around these types of sites due to the energy portals that are found there. So wearing your protective crystals and being grounded, those are the first two things that you need to do. The third thing before visiting a haunted site or going on a haunted ghost tour is going to be saying a prayer or a meditation or some kind of acknowledgement to your angels, your guides, your higher self, or God. I like to call in Archangel Azrael. He is the angel of death who helps me work with my mediumship and working with the dead. But you might want to call in Archangel Michael, or just call in the light and imagine yourself surrounded by the light. Ask for protection, ask for guidance, and it will be so. I also recommend saying a prayer for the dead and asking that any souls that are in pain or suffering at that site be helped by the angels. That's important too. And you know, guys, this time of year, many people want to experience something paranormal, but most don't go about it safely or with the right attitude. Ghosts are really just people. Please show them the respect that they deserve and do not use provocation to instigate a response from them. It's also important to never invite them to do something to you to prove that they're real, or yell at them in an attempt to get a reaction. That is super rude and disrespectful. These aren't performing monkeys in a zoo. These are people who have died in tragic ways. Please be respectful. And in fact, anyone using these types of tactics can actually destabilize the energy and make it turn explosive, which can lead to physical attacks and even violence. So it's important to be really careful. Do not provoke the spirits. Respect them instead. It's been in my experience that most of these souls at these locations are in desperate need of help. And in fact, many people don't realize that the dead need healing just as much as the living do. There are many things that a person can be confronted with upon their death that they weren't prepared to see or deal with, especially if that person had no faith, no religion, no sense of what the afterlife looked like, or they had attachments that kept them down in life. People in the throes of addiction at the time of their deaths are prime candidates for becoming earthbound after they pass. It's sad, but if they're lost in life, they are even more lost in their death. And as I pull these types of attachments off of my clients in my shamanic healing work, naturally, ghost healing has become a huge part of my practice. And in fact, I assist the dead as equally as I do the living in my healing practice. And I wanted to tell you all, if you have any questions about this kind of work, about ghost healing, about this topic that I'm speaking about today, feel free to ask a question in the comments section. I'm always happy to answer you, and I appreciate your feedback. And with that, guys, I will say happy Halloween and a blessed Samhain to those who celebrate it. And I also wanted to let you all know that my 1-hour mediumship readings are 20% off through this month. So if there's anyone on the other side that you'd like to connect with or make a connection with, I'll leave all of that information in the description box so you can book a session. And I hope I've given you all something to consider before heading out on your next haunted adventure. And if you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe if you're new. It really helps this little channel grow. And until next time, I thank you so much for continuing to support this content, and I look forward to seeing you at the next video. Have a great month, guys.